Hey, what's up everybody? It's your boy Proftrof and we're back again with another Count Dankula video. This has been requested a decent amount and excessively. Okay, so we're doing the Ken Allen video, the hairy Houdini. Okay, I gotta be honest, like when I was looking at the Mad Lads, this did not seem that impressive on first look, so I hope it breaks my expectations. It looks like one of those, I forget what those apes were called, like the big hairy ones that are supposed to be very smart but not actually that smart. So like, I guess we'll see.
The aim of Mad Lads has been to focus on notable people from history whose stories are so insane, so absurd, and so mad that they're very entertaining, and as such, they earn the title of Mad Lad. But we have something a little bit different this time. Something I wanted to do just for a little bit of fun. Now, today's Mad Lad isn't a notable person, because he isn't
super
a person.
dry. That's when I go to bed with a woman. Super dry. Okay, enough with the stupid jokes. Let's get on with the video.
His story just made me laugh so much that I just felt compelled to make a Mad Lad on him.
Okay.
Ken Allen, also known as Hairy Houdini.
Okay.
Today's Mad Lad is an orangutan.
Oh yeah. Orangutan. Best intro on YouTube.
But it just wouldn't be a Mad Lad without your boy, Raid Shadow Legends.
Oh, come on, bro.
The hottest free-to-play mobile RPG on the
who is this?
Shadow Legends.
Look at this fat ass over there on the right.
Hottest free-to-play mobile RPG on the Play Store with over 15 million downloads in the last 6 months. And today they want me to show you how to open shards to get a random roll on a champion.
The fuck is you doing?
Here we go. I better get a good one.
What you got, boy? What you got? Fucking gotcha games.
Oh, okay, that actually is a good one. His name's Chopper.
Oh.
Right, no, that's
Chopper.
actually decent. I like him. Right, here we. Give me a good one.
Listen, at least if he slices you with those two axes, he's gonna then take you to the hospital. We got Slayer.
I think that's my dad. Slayer. Good band, good champion.
Pussy Slayer 420.
Who's this? Downloading.
Oh damn! God damn, bitch! I didn't know elves had fucking boob surgery knowledge. Up with those woods. What do they stick inside the boobs? Bark. Okay, enough. Sorry.
I like her. Avenger.
Avenger.
She has great
Personality.
stats. So if you click the link in the description down below, you will get 100,000 silver, 2 clan boss keys, 10 mystery shards, and a free champion, Executioner. This offer is only available for the next 30 days. And you can find all of it here in your inbox. The best way to get people to...
By the way, quick question. Anyone that plays Raid Shadow Legends, can you all stack promotional codes and shit? Because like everyone has a promotional code for Shadow Raid Legends guy. So can you all stack those and become rich as fuck?
To click a link is seduction.
You have a tattoo on your kneecap.
Just click the link. Ken Allen was born in captivity at the San Diego Zoo on the 13th of February 1971. Ken unfortunately had to be removed from his mother's care while he was still a newborn. It seems that his mother had rejected him and wasn't being a very good mother.
Wow.
On a few occasions she'd actually lay directly on top of him, almost smothering and killing him.
Wow, that bitch went for the late abortion. That's fucked up.
So the zookeepers had to go in and remove Ken from his mother's care for his own safety. When Ken was taken into the care of the zookeepers, they named him Ken Allen. Now, there's two different stories as to how he got this name. The first story is that he was simply named after the two zookeepers who rescued and raised him, who were called Ken and Alan. The other story as to how
What a
Ken
cute
Allen
couple.
got his name is apparently a Wall Street brokerage firm made a large donation to the San Diego Zoo, and in return for the donation, they wanted the baby orangutan to be named after one of their equity managers named Ken Allen, because they wanted to troll him. Ken was kept in the zoo nursery where the zookeepers raised him, and while they were raising him, they noticed that...
I gotta be honest, I would like a orangutan named after me. That would be pretty cool. I'd probably go to the zoo every day then. See my boy. It's my fucking boy.
He adjusted very well to being around humans, and after a while they realised that Ken actually really enjoyed the company of humans. Another thing that the zookeepers...
I just fucking bashed my cup into my teeth. The fuck is wrong with me today?
Noticed while raising him is that Ken, despite still being just an infant, was very, very smart. A little too smart. Ken, even as an infant, started doing something that he would end up becoming notorious for. Escaping. Now, in the nursery, at night...
Couldn't he learn to do normal monkey things like throw poop at spectators?
Ken was kept in a cage to make sure that he didn't wander around and do any damage to the nursery, and also so he didn't do any damage to himself. But after a while, Ken realised that he could unscrew the bolts of his cage and take it apart. So that's what he did. And then he just got out of his cage and wandered around the nursery, playing with his toys and having a jolly old time. So when the zookeepers came into the nursery the very next day, they found Ken Allen out of his cage, sitting in the middle of the floor, playing with his toys. The zookeepers then put his cage back together and put Ken Allen back inside it, but the zookeepers just assumed that the cage must have fallen apart on its own because it must have not been put together right in the first place, because there was just absolutely no way that this baby orangutan had figured out how to dismantle his cage. No way. Ken wanted to wander around the nursery and play with his toys, right? He hated sitting in his cage alone at night because it was boring as fuck. He wanted to get out and play.
Understandable.
But he also didn't want to get in trouble again off the zookeeper.
No, he did not take it apart and build it back. No fucking way. Yo, that orangutan's smarter than me. Jesus Christ.
So he figured out a way that he would be able to do this and completely get away with it.
No way.
So he would do his usual, wait until the zookeepers went home from work, so he had the nursery all to himself. And then he would do what he did last time, unscrew the bolts of his cage, take it apart, and then go out and play with his toys. But what he had learned to do, to get away with it, is when he saw morning approaching, he knew that soon the zookeepers would be turning up for work.
Wow.
So what Ken would do is he would put his cage back together, get back inside it, and lock the door, so that when the zookeepers turned up for work the next day, they would see Ken in his cage and they wouldn't suspect a thing. The zookeepers over time though started to notice that something fishy was going on when they were turning up for work in the nursery.
There is some monkey business around here. Some monkey business. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. Let's keep going.
They were noticing that doors had been left open, that they were absolutely sure they closed the night before. Cupboards had been left open and toys were not in the place that they had been left the night before. So they started to get very suspicious. But the zookeepers didn't think it was a ghost. They thought it was Ken. So at night, instead of going...
Why? Why? Just because he's a monkey? Those racist fucks? Huh?
The zookeepers decided to hang around outside the nursery instead,
Gonna get bad soon.
biding their time. And then, when they thought enough time had passed, they burst into the nursery. And what they seen was Ken's cage, lying on the floor, completely dismantled, and Ken sitting there out of his cage, playing with his toys, with a look of, oh fuck, on his face.
Oh fuck,
Ken's
here we go
brilliant
again.
plan had been foiled by the pesky zookeeper.
His monkey business was foiled.
The zookeepers replaced his cage with one that he couldn't unscrew, so it was one he couldn't escape from. So that was the end of Ken's nighttime fun at the nursery.
Or was it?
But it was far from the last time that Ken would escape. When Ken was old enough, he was moved out of the nursery and into the main orangutan enclosure of the zoo. It was time for him to go out into the limelight. However, he was sharing this enclosure with another male orangutan called Otis.
Otis?
Two male
Okay, yeah, you can't put two male orangutans. Especially when our boy Alan is a fucking 200 IQ genius and my boy has a name fucking Otis. What is he, like a fucking a normal ape? A normal orangutan? The fuck? Put him with my boy Alan? That's pathetic.
Orangutans into an enclosure with a bunch of female orangutans.
Oh, there's females there.
Bound to result in some disagreements, some of which would end up getting pretty violent, and ultimately Ken and Otis ended up fucking hating each other. So the zookeepers, to prevent further conflict from happening...
Who won? Who won? Who won? I want to know who won. I bet my boy Alan whooped him over the head with a stick.
Removed Ken from the orangutan enclosure and put him into his own enclosure on his own.
That's
Ken
fucked up.
Absolutely hated this. He hated...
Of course he hated it. He had a harem over in the other enclosure. He had all the females. They were like, oh, nope. Otis gets the harem and you get an empty cage. Get fucked, Alan. That's fucked up.
Being on his own. He wanted to get out there and see the great big world outside of his enclosure.
So he did.
So on the 13th of June, 1985, Ken decided to make a move. During opening hours, Ken just decided to climb over the retaining wall of his enclosure and started wandering around the zoo and the members of the public. He wandered around the zoo looking at all of the animal exhibits like he was just a regular customer. And a lot of members of the public were walking with him and standing next to him and just staring in amazement at this orangutan just...
Yo, let's be honest though, that would be a fucking amazing attraction. If you have an orangutan that's like, now shows zero violent tendencies, and you just have him like walking around during open hours, as long as he doesn't do any fuck shit, that would be fucking amazing. I don't know if it's possible though. I don't know how aggressive they are. So...
just wandering around the zoo. And Ken was absolutely fine with all of these people being around him and in some cases coming right up to him. He wasn't violent, he wasn't aggressive, he wasn't agitated. He actually looked like he was having fun. He was actually really enjoying the human interaction. Other members of the public ran away, which is the smart thing to do.
True.
Right, so even though Ken was absolutely calm, very good-natured, and all those other things, we know that in hindsight, right? Just because an animal seems calm and seems non-aggressive doesn't mean that it is. Okay, so if you ever find yourself in that situation, the smart thing to do is get the fuck out of there. It was reported to the zookeepers that Ken had escaped his enclosure and was wandering around the zoo. So they dashed into action so that they could get in there and resolve the situation, because anything could have happened. But instead of finding panic and screaming and chaos and carnage, they instead found a bunch of members of the public standing around, watching this orangutan just minding his own fucking business, wandering around the zoo, looking at the animal exhibits and having a great day out. However, Ken didn't pay for a ticket, did he? So the zookeepers led him back to his enclosure. And Ken was absolutely...
At least they didn't shoot him. Dick for Harambe.
Absolutely fine with this. He was completely compliant and walked with the zookeepers back to his enclosure. He wasn't aggressive. He wasn't violent. In fact, he actually seemed in a very good mood because he enjoyed his little day out. Zoo management, however, were absolutely freaking out about this. They thought it was going to be a PR disaster because word had got out that an orangutan had escaped from its enclosure and was wandering around members of the public.
Just say it's a very hairy dude that was drunk and was walking around.
And the media had caught wind of this and were asking the zoo a lot of questions. The zoo management were sitting going, they're going to write hit pieces, they're going to absolutely trash us, this is a PR disaster, we're going to get in so much trouble. But instead, the opposite happened. When the media wrote about the escape, they didn't write anything bad. They instead wrote about this kind, gentle, good-natured orangutan wandering around the zoo, looking at the animal exhibits and minding his own business. The media articles were actually extremely favourable and told a lovely story. So as a result, attendance at
Weird. I'm pretty used to medias being cunts about everything. It's pretty weird.
the zoo
Cool though.
greatly increased, and tons of people were coming to the zoo just to see Ken Allen. Zoo management were very happy that they dodged that bullet, but they obviously had to take measures to make sure that such an escape could not happen again. So what they did was, in the part of the enclosure where Ken was able to climb up the wall, they installed a moat to prevent Ken from reaching the wall, to make sure that
So a moat, it's like they dig down so he wouldn't be able to grab the first part that he used probably to grab and climb the rest. I think that's what a moat is, right? It's like a little thing. I'm pretty sure they use in war for like, now they build them around castles so you don't do some fucked up shit.
he couldn't climb out and escape again. Until July 29th, 1985, when Ken escaped again. And it was just the same as before. Ken wandered around, members of the public, wandering around the zoo, looking at the animal exhibits. Non-violent, non-aggressive, minding his own business. On this occasion, apparently people were even coming right up to Ken to take pictures with him. And Ken just sat there and let them do it.
Yo,
Ken actually seemed to
cool fucking
really be
lad.
enjoying the human interaction because Ken actually liked people. But on this occasion, there was an incident. Not with any people. Ken liked people. Ken enjoyed people interacting with him. Ken is a
Dog.
very lovable orangutan. But there is someone that Ken doesn't love. And
Did he go into the cage of Otis and beat his
in
ass?
fact, there is someone
Oh no.
that Ken hates. Otis. Zookeepers heard an orangutan screaming, so they ran to the scene to find out.
He was training? Y'all did not understand, but when you took him away from the females, that sparked him on a journey. On a journey to self-enlightenment. My boy was doing 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 10-kilometer run every single fucking day. He was ready. He was prepared.
What the hell was going on? Upon arriving at the scene, they found Otis in his enclosure, beating his chest, flailing his arms around wildly, and screaming at the top of his lungs. Otis was fucking mad. Otis was absolutely fucking furious. And when the zookeepers looked up to see what Otis was screaming at, they seen Ken Allen hanging over Otis's enclosure, pelting Otis with rocks.
Yeah, I fucking
Ken
love
was,
this animal.
led back.
Okay. I can kind of see why y'all suggested this. Thank you. Okay. This is amazing.
To his enclosure by the zookeepers. On this occasion, he again was not violent, not aggressive, but the zookeepers could see that he was a little bit agitated, probably because he was still all testosteroned up from finally getting revenge on that pussy ass bitch Otis. But despite that, he went back to his enclosure without further incident. The zookeepers were wondering why Ken kept doing this, and they decided maybe he's just lonely. After all, he is in that enclosure all by himself. We need to get him some friends.
Okay.
So the zookeepers decided to add female orangutans to Ken's enclosure so that he had some company, and also in the hopes that getting a little bit of that orangutan puss might just take his mind off of escaping. But it didn't.
I feel Ken. Sometimes, it's like getting married. You get married, everything's good, relationship's good, right? And then you realize you're married to a fucking harpy and you want to escape even more. Maybe that's what happened to Ken.
Instead, what Ken was doing was teaching the female orangutans how to escape themselves. Oh, I love him. I love him so fucking much.
Is this
On the
Planet of the
13th
Apes or
August,
whatever?
1985, somehow
85.
a very
Wait,
strong
85
branch
again?
had managed to find its way into Ken's enclosure. Ken took the branch and passed it to a female of his named Vicky. Ken then taught Vicky.
Yeah, I'll name the female orangutan Vicky. Vicky.
How to use the branch like a crowbar to pry open one of the windows of the enclosure. Upon successfully prying the window out, Ken and Vicky both managed to escape. But on this occasion, they were both caught by the zookeepers the instant they got out of the enclosure.
Oh.
They were put back in the enclosure, the window was repaired, and the branch was confiscated. The media once again wrote about this third escape of his, and it was during this wave of media articles that one outlet called him something that would end up becoming adopted as his famous nickname.
The Hairy Houdini?
Hairy Houdini. This third public escape was once again generating a lot of good PR for the zoo. More and more people were attending the zoo, and more people were attending the zoo just to see Ken Allen. But Ken Allen, by this point, had become a little bit of a cult icon. People were turning up to the zoo wearing free Ken Allen t-shirts, and they even had free Ken Allen bumper stickers on their cars. The zoo themselves even started capitalising on this. The zoo actually started selling t-shirts that had newspaper articles about Ken Allen's escapes printed on them. Ken Allen even got his own fan club, consisting mainly of old age pensioners. They even published a monthly newsletter.
A fan club?
And this fan club was called the Orang Gang. You an Orang Gang, country son, yeah, fucking OG Orang Gang. This is Orang Gang territory. We run this neighbourhood. Fuck bitches, fuck zookeepers, fuck Otis.
Yeah, fuck Otis.
Orang Gang.
I want to be part of the gang.
More good PR for the zoo. The zoo management were still hell-bent on making sure that Ken Allen could never escape again. And so began a very long and very expensive operation to prevent that from happening.
They do?
The zookeepers were ordered to keep constant watch on Ken, and any time he tried to escape, they were to intervene and stop him immediately. And that actually happened several times. The zookeepers would be watching him outside of his enclosure, he would attempt an escape, and then the zookeepers would go in and stop him right away. So after a while, Ken Allen just gave up.
No, he did not.
Or so they thought. Now, like we said earlier, Ken is very, very smart. And Ken had learned something new. Ken learned that the only people that would stop his escapes were people who were all wearing the exact same type of clothes. The zookeeper's uniform.
Okay.
So Ken learned to watch out for people that were wearing that uniform. If anyone wearing that uniform was watching him, he knew not to attempt any escapes. But then, as soon as he couldn't see anyone wearing that uniform, he knew it was safe to try and escape again. Once the zookeepers realised that Ken had learned to watch out for their uniforms, they had to go plain clothes and disguise themselves as tourists so that they could keep an eye on Ken. It's like,
what's next? He learns their faces.
They had to do like an undercover sting operation wearing plain clothes.
Hey yo, monkey in cage. Oh shit, monkey trying to get out. I need assistance. Send reinforcements.
Eventually, zoo management accepted that eventually Ken would be able to escape again. So what they did was they removed Ken from his enclosure and placed him into an indoor enclosure that only had a black and white TV with only one working channel. But fortunately, he was only being held there temporarily, so that the zoo could do work on his enclosure to make it completely escape-proof. Zoo management hired 2 professional rock climbers, put them in Ken's enclosure, and told them, okay, try and climb out.
Are you calling the climbers monkeys?
Because if there is a way to climb out of something, who better to find it than professional rock climbers? The rock climbers found very many finger and footholds that Ken Allen would eventually have discovered himself and used to escape. So zoo management brought in construction workers to get rid of all these finger and footholds, and also, just for good measure, they also installed an electric fence running across the top.
Isn't that a little excessive?
The most vulnerable part of the enclosure. And in all of this work ended up costing the zoo $40,000. Ken, however, did make another escape attempt after this. Despite all the work that had been put in his enclosure, he somehow still managed to get to the top of the wall. But while he was at the top of the wall, he brushed against the electric fence and got a zap. Ken got a fright, immediately climbed down and retreated back into his enclosure. It seems that the zookeepers had finally managed to defeat Ken, because after this, he made no further escape attempts. And according to the zookeepers, they said it seemed that Ken had decided to settle down and become a family man. But 2 years later, the pump...
But as any other family man, he went to buy cigarettes and did not come back.
System for the moat in Ken's enclosure got clogged and caused the whole thing to drain. So Ken was now able to walk across the dry moat and reach the most vulnerable part of the enclosure. And Ken climbed up and once again managed to escape. And he did as usual. He wandered around, non-aggressive, non-violent, posing for photos with tourists, interacting with the humans, looking at the animal exhibits, and just having a great time. However, again, the zookeepers were alerted and they were charging towards the scene. Ken seen the zookeepers approaching, and on every other occasion, Ken had been absolutely compliant and followed them back to his...
He went apeshit?
Enclosure. But it had been so long since Ken last escaped that he wasn't sure if he was ever going to be able to escape again. This could be his final chance. Again, Ken wasn't violent, he wasn't aggressive, he didn't attack anyone, he just ran. He just went, you know what, fuck this, I'm not going back, fuck you guys, and he just ran. The zookeepers were frantically chasing after Ken Allen,
good luck with that shit.
but they just can't do it. He's faking them, he's ducking and weaving, just taking the absolute piss.
He's dribbling around them.
And the entire time that this is going on,
breaking ankles.
Huge crowd of members of the public has gathered to watch this
It's
spectacle.
like a fucking comedy
of these
show.
Zookeepers trying their hardest, yet absolutely failing to catch Ken Allen. And the entire time it's happening, the members of the public are cheering for Ken Allen and booing the zookeepers. But the zookeepers eventually managed to corner Ken Allen. And Ken Allen was not aggressive, he was not violent, he took this loss with dignity and accepted defeat. He then followed the zookeepers back to his enclosure, with his head held high at this very valiant attempt. This would be the last ever time that Ken Allen managed to successfully escape. After this, Ken did settle down and become a family man with his harem of female orangutans, who themselves could now not be moved to other enclosures because Ken had taught them all how to escape. At a later date, two of Ken's females named Jane and Kumang found a squeegee that had been left behind in their enclosure by a zoo worker. They were then able to fashion the squeegee into a crowbar and use it to pry open one of the windows of their enclosure, and they both escaped. However, both of them were immediately caught and taken back to the enclosure. Many years pass, and there's no further escape attempts from Ken. He did settle down and become a family man. He was enjoying being a dad and enjoying the company of his harem of females. But eventually, in the year 2000, the zookeepers noticed that Ken was acting very strange. He was acting quite erratic. He didn't seem his usual self, so they took him to the zoo veterinarian for a checkup. Ken was diagnosed with B-cell lymphoma, a blood cancer that had spread to his prostate, and it was terminal. The zookeepers did everything that they could for Ken, but it was clear after a few months that he was just suffering greatly. So the zoo made the really difficult decision to euthanize Ken, and on the 1st of December in the year 2000, Ken Allen was put to sleep. In the aftermath of Ken's death, the Orangang held a candlelit vigil at his enclosure. Ken Allen managed to escape his enclosure a total of 9 times, we only spoke about the eventful escapes in this video because in all of his other escapes, he was caught the instant he got out of his enclosure. Ken Allen became a little bit of a cultural icon. There was merchandise made of him, a lot of media articles written about him, and even long after the escapes had stopped, he was still one of the most visited and most loved animals at the zoo. He was a very kind and good-natured animal. He wasn't violent, and he genuinely enjoyed the company of humans. There wasn't a bad bone in his body.
He certainly gave enough bone to those females, though.
Except when it came to Otis, but he's a
Yeah,
pussy
fuck
ass
Otis.
bitch. Fuck
Exactly.
Otis.
Fuck that guy.
One thing that I do kind of feel the need to include in this video is orangutans are very smart and very gentle-natured creatures, but the World Wildlife Fund has classed them as critically endangered, and this is because of poaching and because of them losing so much of their habitat.
Fucking poachers.
So down below I've put the donation link to the Orangutan Foundation. They are a charity that help raise orphaned orangutans and relocate them to protected wildlife reserves. They also try and prevent the deforestation of orangutan habitats. So if you guys want to help out, the donation link's down below in the description, and it'd be nice if you help out because orangutans are pretty chill. Ken Allen has been immortalised with a memorial at the San Diego Zoo so that he can be forever remembered
29.
as the El Chapo of orangutans.
I don't know how long
But
orangutans
Ken
live, but 29
has also
seems
been
good.
immortalised in song. A fucking amazing song created by a man called David Gersten. Now, David, if you're still out there and you are watching this, please don't copyright strike my video. I tried to find you, I tried to contact you, I couldn't find you at all. I'm not even sure if you are still out there because this happened so long ago. I just felt the absolute need to include this song in this video because I just felt there was no better way to finish the story of Ken Allen. So here you go, folks. Here is the ballad of Ken Allen.
The ballad.
The San Diego Zoo's orangutan is famous for his daring escapes. Now his adventures have been put to music in Big Bad Ken Allen.
Ken Allen is one hunk of a man.
Yo, this motherfucker's got a smooth ass voice. God damn. Listen to this shit. That's a jammer. True. True. I just thought of something. What if my boy Ken Allen made up the cancer, huh? What if he has the ability? A mutation or some shit. And now he's free out there somewhere. Think about it. Okay.
Count Dankula on YouTube.
Shit.
Everybody should subscribe. Yeah.
Okay, I can see why y'all were so insistent on Ken Allen. He's pretty good. Now a quick thank you to the patrons. Pedro Martinez, Commanders Koyun, Rob Berry, Prince Zaya, Swastatic, Fewest Chicken 53. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Yeah, let me know. So next time we're gonna probably do that Chinese MMA fighter that beat the shit out of China. That's the next match that we're probably gonna do. Okay, I forgot his name. So yeah, I'll see you next time, buddy. Enjoy the rest of your day.